From the very moment Enzo Maresca walked through the doors at Stamford Bridge, you could sense that something had shifted. Not just a managerial appointment, no, this was an awakening. A calculated disruption. Chelsea weren't simply hiring a coach, they were entrusting their future to a man whose entire philosophy challenges the status quo. A man who doesn't follow the rhythm of the Premier League but composes his own tune, measure by measure. There was an almost eerie calm to his arrival. No overblown media circus, no wild promises. Just silence and a sharpened focus. And that's what scared everyone watching. Because calm leaders are often the most dangerous, they're the ones who don't blink while rebuilding empires from dust. And Maresca? He's already laying down blueprints not just for Chelsea's first team but for the entire footballing structure underneath it. A new era isn't approaching. It's already begun. When you watch a Maresca training session, you don't see drills. You see architecture. Players aren't just kicking balls, they're learning geometry. Triangles, angles, spacing. Everything is intentional. Every pass has a destination, and every player has a purpose. The pressing lines are organized like a swarm, fluid but suffocating. And the possession? It's not just to keep the ball, it's a weapon. A slow, rhythmic hammer that breaks down the opponent's walls one touch at a time. At first glance, it may look like classic Pep Guardiola influence, and yes, there's no denying the similarities. But where Pep is refinement, Maresca is rebellion. He doesn't just want control. He wants transformation. And Chelsea, still reeling from the chaos of past seasons, are now being asked to unlearn everything they thought they knew about themselves. No more static wingers hugging the touchline without purpose. Under Maresca, everyone moves. Fullbacks invert into midfield. Midfielders drop into defense. Forwards tuck in, stretch wide, rotate. It's like watching gears inside a watch, each part perfectly synchronized with the next. But it only works if the players believe in it. And they do. Liam Delap? Signed not just for his goals, but for his pressing and movement off the ball. Cole Palmer? Already being positioned not just as a winger but as the team's creative conductor. And then there's Enzo Fernandez, no longer shackled to a defensive role but finally being allowed to float, to dictate tempo, to breathe. But it's not just about where players are on the pitch. It's about how they think. Maresca has introduced a psychological reshaping of this squad. You can see it in the way they hold the ball under pressure, the patience they show even when trailing. There's a calmness that wasn't there before, a belief that every minute spent working the ball is a step closer to cracking the code. And what's truly mind-blowing? It's working. Chelsea's preseason friendlies weren't about winning, they were stress tests. Every match was used to simulate game scenarios. How does the team react under pressure? Can they recover shape within 3 seconds of losing possession? Are they mentally wired to keep passing even when the crowd screams forward? These weren't friendlies. They were rehearsals for a new identity. And you know what's terrifying for Chelsea's rivals? The players are buying in. Fully. They're not just playing for Maresca, they're evolving under him. The shift is even more noticeable in players who were previously considered misfits or wasted potential. Take Mykhailo Mudryk. Under Maresca's system, he's not just running in straight lines anymore. He's making intelligent diagonal runs, holding width to stretch defenses, cutting inside when the space allows. He's reading the game, not just reacting to it. And Raheem Sterling? No longer drifting aimlessly across the pitch. He's being used as a situational disruptor, someone who can press, drag defenders, and create imbalance for others to exploit. Even his body language is different. There's energy, purpose, hunger. But perhaps the most powerful transformation is happening in the midfield. Maresca doesn't want just runners. He wants thinkers. That's why he's slowly molding Moises Caicedo into a hybrid role, a midfield anchor who's not just a destroyer but a play initiator. Someone who can win the ball and then immediately become the first passing option to restart the attack. And of course, the heart of the system, goalkeeper as playmaker. Dord Petrovic or whoever ends up between the sticks must do more than save shots. They must start attacks. Every distribution, whether short or long, must be calculated. That's Maresca's way. Everyone plays. Everyone thinks. Everyone contributes. And the system is ruthless with those who don't fit. That's why you're seeing the club quietly part ways with players who can't adapt. It's not personal, it's practical. Maresca needs soldiers who can execute the plan, not egos who need individual glory. There's no room for passengers in this new Chelsea engine. Every player is expected to think 2 passes ahead. To know when to press and when to hold. To become both attacker and defender within the same sequence. And it's working, not just tactically, but spiritually. There's a unity to this team now. No cliques. No confusion. Everyone knows their role. Everyone knows the mission. Even the fans are starting to feel it. At first, they were skeptical. Another new coach? Another system? But now, watching their team pass with confidence, press with intelligence, and score with style, they're beginning to believe again. Stamford Bridge is buzzing not with nostalgia, but with anticipation. This isn't a return to the past. This is something entirely new. Maresca is doing what many thought impossible. He's turning a team broken by years of transition into a coherent, dangerous, intelligent unit. And he's doing it without relying on individual brilliance. This isn't a team built around one superstar. It's a collective. A symphony. And the rest of the league? They're not ready. Because while others are chasing big-name signings, Chelsea is building a system. A structure. A blueprint that, if executed correctly, could dominate for years. It's not flashy. It's not chaotic. But it's beautiful. In its control. In its movement. In its relentless focus. This is not just the Maresca era. This is the rebirth of Chelsea Football Club. And it's only the beginning. Let them doubt. Let them laugh. Let them sleep. Because when this machine fully wakes up, it's going to change everything.